Land of 11. I got another hour before I gotta go to bed and such. So yeah. That doesn't make sense. That tower, was it always there? No, definitely not. Nor the wall over there. The material's not something we use in Tyrol. It's closer to what we saw at the gate to the Golden City, or those mechanical soldiers. Such a massive structure couldn't possibly have been built in so short a time. Then I am inclined to assume we've been transported to another location, or perhaps... Well, speculation will avail us not. We need to learn more before we can draw conclusions. Let's take a look over there, then. Let's take a look around, then. Not over there. Well, maybe over there. And over there... Oh boy, there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on here. I'm gonna be honest. This is not what I signed up for. This looks like a train station, doesn't it? That must be Yogsolani Station, where the passengers disembarked. Then perhaps we'll find someone to talk to there. Let's go and investigate. There's a right here. I'm pretty sure this is Yogsolani Station, but from the state of it, I swear it was abandoned. I'd swear it was abandoned years ago. I'm not sure what to make of this. I should look around a bit more. In the future? Perhaps that's the future? The thick layer of rust suggests it hasn't been used in years. Dilapidated building. It's clearly been many years since it lived in. It's like no one's been here forever. Finished poking around, have you? Let's gather everyone then. I want you all to take a look at this. One of the mechanical soldiers. Long since broken, apparently. But I'd say its presence confirms this is indeed Zeral Jaw's domain for it. What about the rest of you? Did you learn anything? So all evidence suggests this is Yogsolani Station. Aye, and no doubt for in Yogsolani. But I don't understand why these buildings are so run down. They were completed barely a year ago. but new structures to deteriorate and enormous ones to appear in a flash. If I didn't know better, I'd say time flows differently here. Is such a thing even possible? We have encountered this phenomenon before, as it so happens. Though it may be difficult to believe, our world is but one of several. In some respects, they are similar to one another, but in others, wholly different. We call them reflections. So simply, the rift between dimensions causes time to flow at a different pace in each world. While hours pass in one, years may have come and gone in another. But if this is Ocelani, then we should still be in the source. The flow of time should be synchronized. I'm not sure I follow all this talk of reflections and dimensions, but if Aaron says this is Yoselani, then it must be. Your village is a little further along, right? Aaronville! Oh. Yes, it's a short distance to the northwest. Let's head there next then. Rather than talk theory, it's always better to confirm things firsthand. May I be of assistance? It's still functioning. It doesn't seem to be hostile, at least. Perhaps we can ask it some questions. Can you tell us where we are? Unable to confirm credentials. Please present citizen identification. Unable to confirm. Seems it's broken after all. Too strange by half. Let's leave it be and get going. Those lightning rods? Would you accompany me for a moment? There's something I wish to investigate. Oh, this is their... Yeah, this is supposed to be like the Thunder Plains, apparently. That's what this is supposed to be. Yeah, that's exactly what this is. It's the Thunder Plains. Look there. The lightning appears to be drawn to those pole-shaped structures over yonder. The design suggests there's some kind of lightning rod. Let's go and take a closer look. I don't think it's a good idea there. I don't like any of this. This material appears to be the same as that's used in the mechanical soldiers and warships. On closer inspection, it appears to bear fine etchings, rather reminiscent of arcane runes. These, I suppose, they're not merely decorative. I would post it's used to harness lightning as a source of energy. Quite impressive technology. I'll share this authorization with Justola for a blessing. This stone doesn't appear to interfere with link pearls. Thanks for accompanying me. Let's head to the village and find the others. Oh, what in the world?
home. It's in ruins. But why? What happened here? And where is everyone?
I had a look in a few of the other houses, but they had clearly been abandoned.
Damn it all. None of this makes sense.
Excuse me? Are you looking for someone? I apologize for giving you a fright. However, I did have reason to keep to the shadows. Sorolja has told me a great deal about you.
Sorolja?
Greetings, and welcome to the realm of Alexandria.
Alexandria?
I am Sphene, the Queen of Reason.
Queen of Reason?
If you are the Queen of Reason, is there perhaps a...
King of Resolve.
Yes, if you mean to ask if there is a King of Resolve. Sorolja holds that title, and together do we reign.
Then you are both behind the attack on Tulihiola.
And I doubt you're here to offer us a warm reception.
No, you have it all wrong. I am not come to fight. Sorolja rules alongside me, but that is a matter of expedience. In truth, we are at odds, he and I. It is at considerable risk to myself and my people that I come before you to beg your aid.
Our aid? I'll admit I cannot imagine King Sorolja is keen to share and share alike. But if what you say is true, you're still the Queen.
Indeed. But I was once the sole ruler of Alexandria. Until one day, he appeared, bent on conquest. In my weakness, I feared his power. So I persuaded him to forego violence and strike a bargain. I would remain queen, and he would receive technology that would empower him to achieve even loftier ambitions, along with the knowledge to use it. A gamble, to be sure, but if it might spare my people...
Yeah, this is FF9 territory now. You can hear it. I think this is a FF9 song. I'm trying to pinpoint which one it is.
If I may, the dome surrounding these lands was erected but recently. How is it he was able to not only invade, but instate a new system of leadership in a mere matter of days?
I've never heard of your realm. And this place is, or at least was, Yassolani. The house I grew up in is still here. But 3 years ago, that tower and these strange contrivances weren't. Nor was our village in ruins. Where did you come from? And what happened to the people who lived here? You must know!
I realize how confusing this all must be. Truth be told, I don't fully understand it myself. What I can say is that one day, people from your Tuliolol suddenly appeared here in Alexandria. Or perhaps it was we who found ourselves in Tuliolol. Until but recently, we were completely unaware of events taking place beyond the barrier surrounding our realm.
Does this not remind you of the Crystal Tower? How after the 8th Umbral Calamity, we devised a means to transport the Spire across time and space from the source unto the First. Granted, this is on a much larger scale, if that is indeed what has happened. Not only the people and structures, but also the surrounding environment. Regardless, the people of Lakeland perceived the arrival of the Crystal Tower much as the Queen describes her own experience. Sudden and inexplicable.
Well then, you appear to have a better grasp of our circumstances than we do. Indeed, more than I dared hope. In which case, a closer examination of the effects of this phenomenon may afford us more insights. Allow me to take you to the outskirts. A number of the Shatona live there as well. Perhaps your acquaintances are among them.
Hold on. If we accept, there's no guarantee we're not walking into a trap.
But if we're to defeat Zorolja, we need to understand how he grew so strong. Besides...
You're right.
Queen Sphene, before we go, Your Majesty, I have to ask, did you really have nothing to do with the attack on Tuliolol?
Noble Wook Lamart, shall we dispense with the formalities? I'll not deny the soldiers and airships that attacked your people are products of Alexandria. But it was Zorolja, not we, who fashioned them into weapons of war and laid siege to Tuliolol.
So he alone is to blame.
No, I may not have prosecuted this war, but I nevertheless bear responsibility for it.
Perhaps. I know next to nothing about you, let alone what you've been through. So by all means, show us around. I think we'll learn a lot from meeting your people.
Wonderful! If you would follow me.
Isn't that a little odd for the Queen to be walking around in a nice one?
Is that concern or suspicion? If things should take a turn for the worse, might I call upon your aid? I jest, of course. But you do strike me as the most capable here.
I think it goes without saying, but we're not going to trust her like that, right? Anyway, you look at it. A mysterious girl who appears out of nowhere, claiming herself a queen, is suspicious. Now, we have seen crazier stuff. Oh boy, you're welcome. Well, having established that we should be wary, we could use more information. So let's head to this place, the outskirts, and see if we can learn perhaps about Safine as well. Yeah. So the realm of Alexandria was the light, so this is the reflection of the light, perhaps? Whoa. I trust you have similar farming facilities to all. They're completely different from ours. I've got no idea what all of those machines do. We've settled on this approach after some trial and error. The Tolori have their own methods of farming, which they wanted to continue employing, but the environment makes it challenging. There's too much rain and not enough light. Thankfully, the use of electrobes has allowed us to fortify the buildings here, as well as provide what nature cannot. What? Electrobes. It's a material we use for mirrored devices and applications. A topic for another time, perhaps, if you would follow me. We're nearly to the outskirts. This is insane. See the ether. Oh, it's good.
Here we are.
That's FF9.
Though you'll doubtless find much of what you see in Alexandria strange, the traditional agriculture practiced in this village at least should be familiar.
What? Yeah, that's FF9 music. So what I don't like is, why are these things on
Queen
Earth?
Sphene? What business brings her here, I wonder?
The queen has come!
You look well, Paquine. And Catogne, I see you've already taken to your new position.
When she introduced herself as queen, I was expecting someone colder. Honestly, she reminds me of you, Namachi.
Could she be her reflection?
Me? It's only natural for a ruler to love her people.
Yeah, but
And I should like to know them as best I can. Even the most trifling details.
The more you come to know them, the more you grow to love them. Who they are and what they've built.
That's it. Beautifully put.
And it would appear that she is well loved in turn.
Your Majesty, you honor us with your presence. And who are these fine people?
Tuliolol's vow of resolve Wuk-Lamat and her companions. They come from beyond the barrier, but you needn't worry. They are good people and are to be treated as my honored guests.
The rumors of a link to the outside are true, then. Wuk-Lamat is still so young. Oh, where are my manners? I am Popone, a leader of sorts of the people living out here.
Papone? That is a Tonawaktan ring to it.
Right you are. I take it you hail from this region as well? Teshpiani, perhaps?
Yes, I do. I don't suppose you know a woman by the name of Kafkiwa?
Kafkiwa? I'm afraid I'm not sure if I've ever met someone with that name.
Mother isn't here. But it's a relief to know at least some of the people of Yasolani are alive and well.
Your mother, you say? Now that you mention it, I do see the resemblance.
You know my mother?
I do. Yes.
Then tell me, please, where is she?
I cannot say. Not here, but I promise I will in due time.
I have a question, Pepone. Do you recall what happened the day the dome first appeared?
The barrier? Well, I remember fixing a shelf that had collapsed after a terrible earthquake. Then the ground began to tremble. There was a brilliant flash of light, and then... Forgive me, my recollection of it all is rather poor.
You needn't push yourself, Popone. After 30 years, no one could blame you for not remembering.
Excuse me?
30 years? As in 30 years in the past?
Absurd though it may sound, there is no doubt in my mind the events that led to the joining of our lands occurred 30 years ago.
And for this, it's been only a few days.
Which is not to say I understand why our perceptions of the intervening time are so radically different. We only just became aware of the discrepancy when Zoralja's military base was completed, and we were at last able to venture beyond the barrier.
I believed you long dead. To have the chance to kill you myself is an unforeseen blessing.
That's what he meant by that. Because he had spent 30 years planning this, and then only to come to the palace and find out time hadn't even... Time barely moved at all.
30 years. Little wonder Zoralja assumed our father had already passed away.
Let that anger grow for
It's not
30 years
unlike how
straight.
time passes differently in the First and the Source. The fluctuating space of the rift between them disrupting temporal equivalence. Perhaps the same holds true here, and time flowed faster within the dome.
Meaning this is a piece of another reflection. Do you suppose time is still passing faster in here? Meaning this is a piece of another reflection. A piece, not the
I
whole
cannot say
thing.
for certain, but I strongly suspect that to be the case. And based on the Queen's account, this encampment may have come to serve as a physical bridge between the two planes, after which the dome was forced into the Source's temporal flow.
There we go again.
If we're to be certain of anything, we need more information. Sphene, would it be all right if we had a look around and spoke with the townspeople?
By all means.
Time to see what we can see of Alexandria, then.
So we've gone beyond 1 to
And its
100.
people.
We're now at
I
1,000.
may yet find familiar
Deal.
faces among the survivors from Yasolani.
Even if I don't understand the half of it, I would learn more of this place before we confront Zorolja.
Perhaps you'd care to see how we make our living. Though we have always prided ourselves on the use of traditional Tonawatan farming methods, the use of electro-fueled technologies has led to countless agricultural innovations.
I would join you as well.
Ma'am, please, you needn't trouble yourself.
It's no trouble at all. And I promise not to cause any manner of distraction.
Reassuring words, or they would be had I not heard them countless times before. Very well, but do be careful.
Of course. I shall proceed with the utmost care. Now then, if you two would follow me, we can begin the tour.
Still wondering what that thing on the side of their heads are, because I don't like them. I'm just saying.
I can't say that I trust her yet, but I trust that her affection for these people is genuine. And that's enough for me.
Oh yeah, let's grab that, please. It's always raining here. So I think. Electrope has done much to improve the efficiency of their farming, but hasn't replaced everything. The people wanted to preserve their old way of life, and we did not want to force ours upon them. You went to such lengths so that our cultures could coexist, even going so far as to learn our tongue. I'm sure everyone appreciated that. Communication was thankfully not an issue, for the Talari tongue is surprisingly similar to Alexandrian. Of course, there are words and phrases for which there is no equivalent. Those can be taught with minimal effort. Through mutual respect, understanding, and patience, we Alexandrians and Turalis have learned a great deal from one another, and I'm sure there is much you wish to learn as well. So please, have questions, do not hesitate to ask. 98! That's 98. We are getting closer. Wait, is that coffee? What do you mean hot chocolate? Oh. It's not coffee. Buttery mud biscuit. A day in the life. Rather than bore you with the lengthy explanations, let us head back to the farm we passed earlier. Halo, it is called. We can speak with one of the farmers when we arrive. I guess we're off to Halo. Allow me to introduce you to Mushkala, one of the most experienced farmhands in all of Alexandria. She's well versed in marine farming techniques indeed. The wealth of knowledge she has shared with the other farmers is what has allowed this place to flourish. Wingspeed? To what do I owe this sudden shower of praise? My apologies for the interruption. I am come with guests from beyond the barrier. They wish to learn more about Alexandria, so I invited them to see how our crops are grown. I do hope that's alright. So the rumors of visitors from the outside were true. What matter of host would we be to deny them a look around? And I gather your majesty also intended to check on things here? You meant me too well, Masuwa. I thought to seize the opportunity to see how the farmers fare. Perhaps pepper them with a few questions. Though I do so enjoy observing and taking part in the work too. It does appear we have her permission, so please walk the grounds to your heart's content. You go on ahead. I'll keep saying, see you carefully. Don't misunderstand. I'm not the suspicious type, but given our positions, it would make sense for us to go around together, wouldn't you say? A fair point. But be sure not to let me out of your sight. Otherwise, I shall remain under Waklama's watch of eye. Pray, come find us after you've seen your fill and spoken with the other farmhands. Boy, suddenly the rain stopped. Fascinating. It actually did stop in the middle of the cutscene. That's so funny. Is it like spring water or something? It's like it's doing, yeah. Light levels appear to be fine. As for the power source, you wish to know about my job. I tend to the fields mostly, watering the crops, keeping the soil fertile, and so on. It admittedly took some time until I fully understood how best to carry out my duties. I also manage the lamps we use in the fields. We do our best to keep everything up to code, but should they ever start to malfunction, it's up to me to fix them. The land and sky being what they are, ensuring a rich harvest makes constant work, but honestly, I enjoy how involved the process is. Both my parents being Alexandrian, I didn't grow up knowing much of anything about farming. Every day is an opportunity to learn and grow. Oh, an unfamiliar face. I gather this is your first time on site, then? Well, this here's the storeroom or rarity entrance. The real storehouse is underground, much more spacious and equipped with a temperature regulation system to keep the harvest from spoiling. Since the entrance is so small, it's much easier to prevent wild beasts from wandering inside, which also makes it a viable facility for breeding and raising livestock. We even got a few beds down there for an emergency. My parents ought to complain about how Alexandrian technology and electrical complicate our lives, but it's just a matter of learning how things work. Exactly. Take my job, for instance. I'm presently overseeing the storage of harvested crops. They'll be taken up to the tower for processing. From there, find their way to every dining table in Alexandria. The work is hard, I'll not deny, but I take great satisfaction in what we do. Notice something odd? They're saying that you and yours are visitors from beyond the barrier. That's true? So it is. Which means we're connected to the outside world again. Not that I have a desire to leave, mind you. I'm quite content with life here in Alexandria. But setting that aside, you're here to absorb our work, right? As you can see, I'm in charge of livestock. Here in Halo, we produce not only fruits and vegetables, but also meat, poultry, and eggs. Tending the animals is an absolute joy, but I have to be careful not to grow attached. It's always a little sad when they're shipped off, but a job is a job. Well, I need to get back to it. But it was nice talking to you. Please give me your regards to the Queen. I see. Don't be too hard on yourself. Anyone would have been hard-pressed to deal with such a thing. Oh, welcome back. My apologies for failing to notice your return. I gathered you had your fill. Speaking with the farmers, then let us return to Mashaba. Well, what are your impressions of the farm? Everything was surprisingly normal. I was amazed that everyone loves their work. Curious self-realization. Do you not love your own work? Oh, but I jest. It's true that the people out the escort seem the most fulfilled. Always, they take to their duties with good cheer. What did you think of our little tour, Lamati? What did you call me? Was that inappropriate? My apologies. I heard the others call you that by name and I thought... No, it's fine. As I said before, no need for titles and formalities. As for my thoughts, I was very impressed that machines could be used to overcome so harsh an environment is amazing. I've never seen anything like it. The feeling is understandable indeed. Many still find the machinery behind me baffling. It's a system that controls the distribution of water for the fields and livestock. It's been acting up lately, though. Acting up, you say? You needn't worry, my queen. It happens fairly often. Put simply, it's taken in water that had a strong lightning charge. We think some creatures have become charged up with the energy, and they're releasing it into a river we use as a source. The system would return to normal if the creature were dealt with, but I'm reluctant to beg of the army. Alright. We could take care of it for you. Take care of it if you like. That is most gracious of you to offer, but it is much too dangerous. Oh, what's the trouble for the vow of resolve of Portolorio? Regardless of how the relationship between our nations may develop, if there are people in need, I want to help. Simple as that. And Ronald is even stronger than I am. It shouldn't take us long at all. Very well then. Then very well. I'm gratefully accept. Please take all care. I thought to go even faster if you and I search for lightning charged fiends. Good luck. That is. Check. So funny. Destination. I got distracted, sorry. There we go. That's a thunderstorm. There we go. Ah, you're both all right. Thank goodness. You really needn't have worried so much. We barely broke a sweat dealing with the fiends. They're all gone now. Of course I was worried. You're my dear guests. Thank you. We truly appreciate this. Indeed, with this we won't have to ask Zoral Jaw's machines for help. It's been making a concentrated effort to bolster his forces, sparing but a fraction for the people's protection. He thinks nothing of our safety, unlike Queen's. That's enough, Maria. If you have grievances, I will hear them later, but to speak of the king now. No, she's right. He's never been one to look after his people. Anyway, thanks for letting us tour the farm. The folk here are delightful. And it was a pleasure to meet them. You couldn't have favored us with more uplifting words. My people are my pride and joy. And you never failed to let us know, nor how much you care. Of course, you're my precious family, all of you. You seem a good sort, Scene. That I'll admit. But you'll forgive me if I'm not ready to lower my guard for the enemy queen just yet. For you to be called that, I dread to imagine what villainy your majesty has committed. Come now, this is no laughing matter. A ruler is responsible for the welfare of countless lives. And one wrong decision could lead to untold suffering. Failure is unconsiderable. Now I believe we are done with the farm. Let's move on, shall we? Well, this took a dread turn. Cloud. I got time to do this one last quest. Perhaps we should head back to the outskirts. I dare say your friends will also have returned by now. My thanks again for dealing with the fiends. Come and visit us anytime. Yay! Yeah, I have time to do this one quest. I'm going to bed. I'll continue it a little bit tomorrow when I wake up, but depending on if my network is fine and such. But I only do enough to, but I'm only gonna do enough. I'm only gonna do probably enough to get through, like, from wherever I stop to the next level. Do you hear that? Although we're in the middle of 97. The quest line of 97. So we can go 90 from 97 to 99.
What's happening over there?
What's up over there?
It's nearly time.
Do I want to know? Let's see.
I'm glad you could make it.
Are you with us?
Queen Sphene has come to see you.
Oh.
We're here, Namika. Everything is going to be all right.
Oh.
What's the matter, dear?
Oh my goodness. She lived
Can't be.
30 years here. 30 years.
That's the bangle I gave to Namika.
You know her?
Of course I know her. She was like a mother to me.
I see. She was always willing to lend a kindly ear to others, but rarely did she ever speak of herself.
Is it really you?
She must have arrived shortly before the barrier manifested. For us, it was perhaps days, but for her...
Namika, it's me. Wuklamat.
I'm afraid her time with us is nearly at an end.
Still wondering what those things on the side of your head are.
Has she no more soul cells?
She always used hers sparingly, but at her age, it wouldn't make a difference.
Ma'am, the ushers have arrived.
Thank you, Namika, for your many years of friendship. Take comfort in the knowledge that this is not the end. Be not afraid. Your memory will live on, in us.
Living on in memory. The giants share a similar belief.
Yeah, but I don't like where this is going.
Wait, where are you taking her?
Worry not. She is being escorted to a medical facility in the tower. There we will ease her burden. I had hoped to make arrangements for her sooner, but she wished to remain here for as long as possible. I could not bring myself to refuse her.
Is there any way I might stay with her for a little while longer? We may not share the same blood, but she was my mother. Please.
Let us give them some time alone.
She didn't speak, but I'm grateful that I could be with her at the end. Thank you.
It's not the end. Oh, nothing. I was just thinking that we have much to discuss. Where shall we begin?
With what we can be reasonably certain of, perhaps. Between what we have witnessed and the testimony of Alexandria's inhabitants, it's safe to say that two distinct lands have indeed become one. What's more, having met Namika, there is no denying the divergence in the passage of time. Taken together, these phenomena strongly suggest that some manner of cross-rift displacement has occurred. Specifically, the displacement of Alexandria from another reflection to the source.
It does seem the most likely explanation.
Man, I wish Heidelin was here to help with this.
What perplexes me, however, is the scale of said displacement. It far exceeds what could conceivably be achieved with a Void Gate, or even with the Crystal Tower. In essence, we are dealing with a localized instance of dimensional compression. The Ascians would no doubt liken it to a rejoining. Which invites the question, how was such a feat accomplished?
I wish that I had an answer for you, but this talk of reflections and dimensions is well beyond my understanding. I can only tell you that we lived peacefully under the barrier's protection for many, many years, until the day that peace was suddenly broken.
Zoralia.
If I may clarify, the barrier predates Alexandria's displacement.
By several hundred years, yes. To when the continent we call home was ravaged by a devastating cataclysm. The barrier was erected to isolate us from the surrounding land's innocuous influence.
I see. And it was only later that it was whisked away, along with its contents, by means unknown.
In other words, Sphene's as lost as the rest of us, right? The Alexandrians didn't mean to end up in Tural.
The thing is, we kept opening the door. And each time we opened it, we made it worse.
But of course, our next stop ought to be Everkeep. That tower over yonder.
Oh boy.
Once you have been registered as my guests, you will have access to Solution 9 and its residential district, where you will doubtless gain invaluable insight into Alexandria's state of affairs. Unfortunately, I cannot take you directly to where Zoralia resides.
That you'd let us in it all goes a long way toward proving you're not content to let Zoralia do as he pleases. But we're not talking about a simple difference of opinion here. I've come to avenge my father. And to do so, I intend to take Zoralja's life. Are you willing to stand by and allow Alexandria's king to be slain?
A fair question. Permit me to answer it thus. My people come first. Their welfare is paramount. I will do everything in my power to keep them from harm. It is a ruler's duty.
Our roles to play.
Now, I am off to register you at Everkeep. It may take some time, but you shall find the entrance open to you in due course. Oh, and ere I forget, your mother, Kafkiwa, you might try the Thunder Yards to the east.
The Thunder Yards? Is that where she is?
I'm afraid I can say no more than that. Make for the Thunder Yards, and all will be made clear.
It's not as if we have other pressing business. Not until we can get into this Everkeep, anyway. Thank you for earlier. And for being a friend to Namika these past 30 years. It means a lot to me.
Namika? I'm sorry, but I don't know who you mean.
Now I get it. God, I hate the creepy zoom-ins they do with these faces.
What? We were just with her.
That's what they
If
do.
This is some sort of a joke. It isn't funny.
To make sure that that you don't suffer, they delete your memory of when people die. if you know someone and they pass away, they just use that thing to just remove it from your mind.
I don't mean to give offense, but I honestly have no idea who you are talking about.
How can you not know who she is? You're in charge here. She was under your care.
Then in all likelihood, my memories of her have been stored in the cloud.
Oh, that's even weirder.
Any person seemingly forgotten without reason is probably there, in the cloud. Oh, I really must be getting back to work. If you'll excuse me.
Oh, Cha. What the heck have you... It's getting more creepy. Like, we've dealt with things before, like... What's going on? How could Pepperland suddenly forget about them? It's as if he never knew her. Could the same have happened to others as well, I wonder? There's only one way to find out. Let's make inquiries about Namika in the area. We can reconvene afterwards at the inquiry. Man, we were just about to... Well... I've noticed that. We haven't... We haven't to like... Oh, never mind. No woman named Namika. I'm afraid I don't know that person. I'm sorry. I couldn't be of help. What's that? Do I know a name? Never met anyone by that name. I've worked at the outskirts for a good while now. If she spent time here, I would remember. I do recall caring for someone until recently. Did you say that it was a woman named Mika? Well, I can't say for certain if it was her. I wouldn't worry. I'm sure she's just been taken up to the cloud. It's so disturbing to hear that. This is taking a little longer than I thought. So it was the same for everyone. Not a single person remembers Namika. It's as if the memory of her has been purged from their minds. While such a thing might be done with magic, to alter the memories of so many people at once would be a tremendous undertaking. We would have felt a surge of ether corresponding to the act, too. I sensed none in the moment. Neither did I. But I did notice something else. Right before Pepperine seemingly forgot, a light in the device on his head began to blink. Could there be a connection? Someone also said something about soul cells. They're doing... Who might we ask about this? If we continue making such inquiries, I expect we would only cause confusion. Indeed, if we can't readily solve the mystery about Namika, perhaps we could search for Kailua instead? The fiend said to try the Thunder Yards. should be in this direction. What is that? Impossible. Another kind of mechanical soldier. It looks dangerous. We better destroy it. Oh! Or watch it run away. Should we give chase? I think it understood our words. It might be worth asking it some questions. Arenville, are you alright? You look like you've seen a ghost. It's nothing. I'm fine. Well, it went off in the direction we're heading anyway, so let's try to track it down. So much for this being the last quest before I go to bed. We're driving right past it. Whee! It kind of looks like... It looks like one of Stolar's drippies. You know the drippy salmon? that salmon she did? That thing? You found it? Look at my gloves. Those are the gloves I got from the dungeon to the northeast. Then it must be bound for the mines. Come on then. It could well be a trap, so let's not rush in too quickly. I heard faint voices coming from inside, so it's not alone. But we're still going in, of course. It may be a trap. Be ready for a fight, everyone. I can hear them. Several people overhead. I can't make out their conversation with the echoing. Just keep going. Stay on your guard. Oh.
What is this? Ironville!
A trap?
It really is you!
What?
Huh?
Who?
I just have to get a look at you in the light. And I can still hardly believe my eyes. But it is you, my darling Elder.
My darling, what now?
Oh. Oh.
Oh, it's so good to see you, my fussy little bun bun.
My God.
But what are you doing here? What brings you all this way?
Excuse me, little. Excuse me?
Why the long face? Aren't you happy to see me after all this time?
I'd know that laugh anywhere. Mother?
Wait. Since when was your mother a weird floating thing?
I don't know, for 30 years? After...
And what have we here? Say, aren't you good old Jaja's kitten? I knew I recognized that adorable fuzzy face. Eleanor's Spear was always so excited whenever you invited him over to play. You remember me, I hope?
I can't say that I do, but you know my father?
Appearances notwithstanding, it would seem this is my mother, Kavkiwa.
I'm sorry?
Oh, this won't do. Come in! Friends of my Eleanor Spear are always welcome.
All I ask is a little forewarning, but no.
Alright, everybody go back to your lives. That's literally what they're doing. It's just like...
Just when I thought I was starting to get a handle on this place. How are things still getting stranger?
I don't know. As far as I can tell, this is indeed my mother. I can think of few people in the world quite so spirited. But as to what happened, we need to ask her. Still in 77, but that's gonna be it for now, I think. So yeah. Yeah, that's FF9, by the way. I think. But yeah, that's gonna be it for now. Tomorrow I'll play some in the morning before I switch over to play Cult of the Lamb, because I do want to continue that. Yeah.